Jimmy Garoppolo is going to win the Super Bowl with the Raiders, the first quarterback for the Raiders to win Super Bowl MVP since Super Bowl 15. Jimmy Garoppolo, November the 2nd of 1991, which is 20, which is 2, 15-6 life path, first Raiders quarterback to win Super Bowl MVP since Jim Plunkett in Super Bowl 15. The amount of time from the Raiders last championship to their next championship is 43 years later. Champion is 43, Jim Plunkett 43, 42 prior seasons without winning. They were the LA Raiders when they last won the title. They beat the Commanders for their last Super Bowl championship. Commanders is 42, LA Raiders is 42. Jimmy Garoppolo had 42 total wins with the 49ers. 42 years without winning. Sex at Jimmy G. He get that baby done. Jimmy Garoppolo on the key fourth down. 24 points for the Chiefs at that moment in time. It was Charles Woodson, that's number 24. 24 years after the Tuck Rule game, the Raiders win the Super Bowl. They go 23 years without winning from the Tuck Rule game, and they're about to win Super Bowl 61. 61, the 18th prime, the Raiders last championship in Super Bowl 18. This was about to go down. Las Vegas 23, Madden's 23, Brady 23. Fumble is Gamache 23. 23 years without winning, 24 years later. It is Jimmy Garoppolo that won Super Bowl 49 against the Seahawks. Seahawks, Gamache 24. He won Super Bowl 51 against the Falcons. It is Falcon, that's Gamache 24. His last Super Bowl title. 2 rings as a backup in Super Bowl 51. Is the Raiders. They win their first title since over at Tampa. This is what about to go down for Jimmy Garoppolo. He's number 10. Jimmy Garoppolo. He's going to win the Super Bowl 10 years after Super Bowl 51. In Super Bowl 61, this is what about to go down for Jimmy G. The death of Madden to the Super Bowl. 5 years in a month. This is the 5 years in the second month. The 52 is all about Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo is Gematria of 52. The Raiders last championship, they were in Los Angeles. Garoppolo by itself is 52. Los Angeles Rams, 52. McDaniels last break. The last LA team to win the Raiders when they lost championship while they were in LA. The amount of time from Josh McDaniels becoming the coach. The year 2027 is significant because it'd be Garoppolo's first Super Bowl since the Super Bowl at Miami, while with Santa Clara. Miami 27, Santa Clara 27. Let me type it in. Miami 27, Santa Clara 27. Just over 61 months, 62 months later from the time of Madden's death to the Super Bowl in 2027. Over 61 months later. John Earl Madden is Gamache 61. The first win since Madden's death, I think, was against the Cleveland Browns. No, it wasn't. Let's go back. 61 is Gamache Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders is 61. Garoppolo is pick number 62. He lost the Super Bowl against Patrick Mahomes, but the 62nd month after the death of John Madden, the Raiders are going to win the Super Bowl right there. The amount of time from Garoppolo's debut win to February the 13th, 3 years, 5 months. With McDaniels is Gamache of 35, 3 years and 5 months after beating the Broncos, who are 3-5 in the Super Bowl, 41 months after his debut victory. The Super Bowl awaits the Raiders. So 41 is the Gamache of Super Bowl. Jimmy did beat the Falcons in the Super Bowl as a backup quarterback. So in the Gematria, let's go back to the Gematriators, a little bit down. Jimmy is 25, Falcons is Gamache 25. Tampa Bay, the last title for the Raiders, is Gamache 25. Tampa, Florida 53. Well, that's 53 touchdowns in a season high with Eastern Illinois if you're Jimmy Garoppolo. He is picked number 62 in the draft. So that's the connection from the Madden death. The death of John Madden. December 28th was the exact day. Now, let's go to Pleasanton quickly. You know Madden is going to be connected to the Raiders last championship. He was number 77 in the NFL. 77, that's Gematria of Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo, Gematria 77. Pleasanton, California's Gematria of 88. The amount of time from the opening win, September the 10th to February the 10th. Pleasanton by itself is 36. Redskins, their last victory is 36 wins for the Raiders in the time that Jimmy G was with the 49ers. So there's his stats from Eastern Illinois. You see the 53 touchdowns, season high. His 89th touchdown in regular season gave the Raiders the lead. Let's see, Pleasanton, California's 88, but he entered with 88 touchdowns in the regular season, entering his Raider career. McDaniels, the amount of time of his hiring to the Super Bowl is 61 months. Las Vegas Raiders, Gematria of 61. It's around the time of John Madden's death, too. '49ers, Gematria 64. James Garoppolo is Gematria 64. He lost the Super Bowl against Kansas City Chiefs. He's going to win the Super Bowl as the Raiders in 6 appearances win 4 times. That's kind of the idea with Jimmy G. So 17 is 8, 2023 is 7. On an 18-9 day numerology, Garoppolo signs the deal. Raiders last championship in Super Bowl 18, by the way. That's how you know Garoppolo's the guy. March 17 to the day that the Raiders win the Super Bowl. 47 months. Nevada's a silver state. Silver AG, number 47, the periodic table. Arlington Heights. Arlington is Gematria 47. Coach John Madden is also Gematria 118. He had 118 touchdowns in the college with Eastern Illinois. Eastern Illinois 181. I think it's James Richard Garoppolo. James Richard Garoppolo and Scottish Rite is 181 and 73. Always time for a potential Super Bowl matchup. Would be McDaniels' 7th Super Bowl ring as a head coach. As a coach. 6 rings with the Pats, 1 with Vegas. Joshua Thomas McDaniels, 77 Gematria. Same Gematria as Jimmy Garoppolo. Madden pick Number 77. Let's go to John. Let's go to John quickly. See how many wins he had when he won the Super Bowl. His record was 8-6, by the way. 8-6 when he won the Super Bowl in the playoffs. His Camacho of Las Vegas. His 91st win occurring in the Super Bowl. I think it's Vikings. That's Camacho 1991. Indeed, it is in the Raiders' last championship over at the Buccaneers Stadium of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over at Tampa, Florida. Tampa, Florida is Camacho of winning the Super Bowl 24 years later. That's exactly what Jimmy G and Josh McDaniels are about to do. So after 66 seasons, in year 67, they're gonna win the championship. They'll win a championship entering their 68th season. Because championship is Camacho 68. Garoppolo's Italian. Joe Montana is the most famous Italian player. He won Super Bowl 24. It's 24 years after the Tuck Rule spell. The Raiders win their first Super Bowl since they were at Los Angeles. That's the significance of 37 years after Montana's last ring. This will be their 7th season in Vegas. They're going to win the championship.